Hello there, it's Bernardo here. Welcome to another Unsubjective Reality video. On today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about leadership. It's something that's been on my mind the last couple days. It's a subject that I think is very important for people who aspire to lead or that are already leading, or entrepreneurs or people who want to start a business and put themselves in a position to lead a team. I think that leadership is a very important skill in the business world, and I think that there are, even though people might have different styles of leading, I think that there are a few things that are very key in order for somebody to be a good leader, or a few key aspects that make a good leader. And I wanted to talk a little bit about those. And I wanted to talk about leadership by contrasting two different styles of leadership, because at the end of the day, leadership isn't about a title, or it isn't about authority. It's all about influence. And the way you lead will ultimately determine whether people follow you willingly or if they follow you out of fear. So I wanted to contrast these two different styles of leadership, and we can make a conclusion of which one is the optimal one. There is one that, of course, will yield better results for anyone who is aspiring to lead. The first style of leadership I wanted to talk about is fear-based leadership. We've all seen it, the boss who wants to rule with an iron fist, or the manager who keeps employees on edge, or the CEO who thinks that fear drives performance. And that may work, but it's only short term, and I'll tell you why. I think that the the leader who leads by instilling fear on their subordinates, whether they be employees or people who are under them, they're not attaining their loyalty. Those employees who are led by fear are going to do just enough to avoid getting in trouble, or to avoid getting yelled at, or whatever it may be. But they're not really following that leader's influence. They're just responding to the fear that leader is instilling in them, and that's not healthy on the long term. It might work short term because you're going to get compliance, right? That fear might get the short term compliance out of those employees, but as soon as they find a better option, they'll leave. Um, it'll be tough for you to retain employees, and your turnover rate will be extremely high if you're leading out of fear. I think that that's just not something that you'd be interested in, because on the long term, it doesn't work. People won't want to work for you. They won't feel compelled to follow your lead, and to really buy into the vision that you have for your company, which is very important. A company without unity will fall. It's the same with a household. It's the same without a relationship. It's the same without a friendship. Whatever it is, things that don't have unity, people who aren't bought into each other's visions, especially if you're a leader. The people that follow you have to buy into your vision willingly, not out of fear. Um, that's the only way that you're going to extract the best out of the people that you're leading, is by having them willingly follow you, not to try to rule over them, and just by instilling fear in them. So all that you're going to get from them is reaction, just to get them out of trouble, not the proactive action towards the vision that you're trying to pass to them. And that's only going to set you back. Um, I've seen several cases of leadership by fear out of my short years of doing business, and none of the companies that I've experienced or studied, um, where the leader instills fear um, in the employees, they don't go very far. And there's the flip side of this coin, which is leadership by example. When you're leading by example, you're the first one that shows up. You're the one that works the hardest. You're really doing a good job communicating your vision as a leader to those that are supposed to be following you, and you're earning your subordinates' respect out of credibility, not out of fear. Fear doesn't buy loyalty, because people tend to follow who they admire, not who they fear. Um, and if you are in a position of leadership, and if you're willing to be put in a position to lead, leading by example in and of itself is not enough. There is a sweet spot in the middle, because as a leader or as a CEO, as a boss, as a manager, you also have to hold people accountable. You might think, of course, your actions matter, because they present that credibility to the employee or the subordinate or whatever it is, but that alone won't do it. You also have to find that sweet spot, that balance, where you can, of course, lead by example, which is great. Um, you know, but also be able to hold those people accountable, to what they have to do, and what steps and what roles they need to fill, in order for this company to reach its goal, right? If you're enjoying the video so far, leave a like and subscribe. Costs you nothing, and it really helps the channel and helps spread this message, and get to as many people as possible who are passionate about business, and leading like yourself. It's clear, if you've gotten to this point of the video, then um, you're into business and you're into leadership. So yeah, leave us a like and subscribe, so this video can reach more people like yourself, and hopefully they can benefit from it too. So it's setting the standard by your own actions, but then also enforcing them. No leniency for mediocrity, no tolerance for excuses, and then once the people under you see that you live by the standards that you set, they're going to start following you, and they're going to rise to the occasion. And they don't just follow you, they trust you. They're going to fully buy into your vision, and they're going to go with you wherever you lead them. And that's how you build a culture of excellence in a company. It's by doing those things and finding that sweet spot between leading by example, but then also enforcing that example, if you're in a position of leadership. So I think that it's a clear distinction between which one works and which one doesn't work. And then there's one more type of leadership that I wanted to mention that you definitely have to avoid. This is the worst of all, which is passive leadership. The passive leadership is the leader who avoids confrontation, who lets things slide, and who wants to be friends with everyone. And in their mind, they might be thinking that they're cultivating a healthy environment, when in reality, all that creates is chaos. Teams get unmotivated and lazy. Um, they're not held to any sort of standard or expectations, and that will be completely prejudicial to a company or to a team. Um, when they have a passive leader, that company will not move forward. Even worse, it's gonna find very big problems very fast. So you definitely don't want to be a passive leader. That's the worst of all. Respect isn't given to those who tolerate mediocrity. That's just a fact. If you tolerate mediocrity within the team that you're leading, you're admitting to yourself and to them that you're mediocre yourself, and that is the most damaging thing that could be presented to a team who wants to be led and who wants to be held accountable, and who wants to move forward and achieve a common goal, which is what teams are built for. So that's the whole truth. Fear-based leadership is weak. Passive leadership is useless, and the only real way to lead is by example with accountability. It creates an environment where people don't just work for you, they work with you. They push themselves to higher standards because they respect the mission and they respect you. And that's how you build a team that's going to win in the long run, and that's going to consistently improve under your lead, and under your example. So yes, while leadership is hard, it's challenging. You can make yourself to be a great leader if you find that sweet spot between leading by example and also holding people accountable to that standard that you set. You can build something that lasts, and also keep your employees or your subordinates very happy to be working, again, not just for you but with you, towards that common goal that you and your team are chasing. So yes, that's it for today's video. I will definitely be doing a few more videos diving deeper into styles of leadership. The style that I just presented as being the optimal is the one that I myself try um, to do, to execute on my day-to-day experience of being in a position of leadership. So that's definitely something that I want to dive deeper into on more videos. But this is something that's very important, I think, for anyone who is already in a position of leadership, or who is willing to lead or willing to create a business. So yeah, we'll be seeing you on the next one, and always forward.